The Davis administration facing renewed criticism over its plans to borrow millions for a specialty hospital. Tonight on our news, a former health minister calling the project ill-advised and poorly timed, questioning whether borrowing millions now makes sense. And dialysis patients face long waits for care at Princess Margaret Hospital this morning. But the Public Hospitals Authority says the disruption was not caused by industrial action. Plus, on Grand Bahama, a major international financial institution could become a key backer of the island's international airport redevelopment, with IDB confirming its interest in funding the project. Then in our news at 7:30, remembering a life beyond the courtroom.
While the country remembers the late Ramona Farquharson Seymour as an esteemed attorney, her pastor simply remembers her as a faithful church servant. Stay tuned to Our News Tonight for more details.
Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. The debate continues to intensify over government's proposed specialty hospital in Western New Providence. The former health minister is renewing criticism of the Davis administration's plan to borrow millions of dollars to fund the project, calling it poorly planned and ill-advised. He's also raising questions about cost, timing, and the long-term value, as the national discussion shows no signs of slowing. Our Delvado Emmanuel, he gets us started tonight.
We have made it very clear that this is an ill-advised project to begin with. It's poorly planned, it's poorly conceived, it's a dumb idea. So when you double down now and start talking about the unusual financing arrangements for a dumb idea, it's still a dumb idea.
Former Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands sharp critique over government's decision to borrow $195 million from the China Export-Import Bank to construct a new specialty hospital in Western New Providence. His comments come after U.S. Ambassador Herschel Walker urged the Davis administration to reconsider the deal, saying in a statement that it doesn't appear to be in the best interest of the Bahamas to submit to Chinese law and labor standards on their own soil. When asked his opinion on the matter, here's what the former health minister had to say.
How long is it going to take to build a new hospital? And what are people supposed to do in the meantime? Have you been to Princess Margaret Hospital recently? Have you seen people languishing in the hallway for days and days and days? This is out of stock. That is out of stock, okay? No equipment to be used to take care of patients. Thank God for the staff that carries the system on their back.
Sands says the issue goes beyond building a new facility, arguing that long-standing problems with staffing and resources remain unaddressed across the public healthcare system.
This isn't about, whether or not another hospital is going to fix what you have. The Abaco Mini Hospital, never been staffed properly. The Exuma Mini Hospital, never been staffed properly. The RAN has challenges right now with the operating rooms. Only one of them can be consistently used. Why don't you fix that? Both hospitals are underfinanced. You don't want to fix that. Where are you going to find $300 million when you can't find the money now?
Now, the former health minister argues that the Davis administration should redirect those funds elsewhere.
But we believe that we need to fix the hospital, pay the nurses, get the existing infrastructure up to speed. And quite frankly, they have done an abysmal job. The healthcare infrastructure in the Bahamas is the worst that it has been in 20 years. And that is a categorical statement.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
All right, thanks for that, Delvado. Dialysis patients facing long waits for treatment this morning. The Public Hospitals Authority denying it was due to industrial action, though. The PHA saying in a statement it was aware of the delays during the early morning treatment sessions at Princess Margaret Hospital, adding the disruption was the result of staff call-outs due to legitimate reasons. And it seems the delay in treatment was short-lived. The statement went on to say that by mid-morning, dialysis services were fully restored. And over on Grand Bahama, new momentum tonight for the long-delayed redevelopment of the international airport there. The Inter-American Development Bank now publicly signaling its interest in financing the project, potentially opening the door for a major new funding partner. IDB country representative Shirley Gale made the comments during GB Chamber of Commerce Economic Summit.
Yes, there has been a lot of talk in the media of late about the Grand Bahama Airport. We haven't been approached, but I am just here to say that we would be happy to finance that, right? And more so through our private sector. So I put that out there.
And during today's summit, Gale noted the IDB has a strong track record in aviation financing in the Bahamas, including a $35 million loan approved in 2017 to upgrade airports in Exuma, North Eleuthera, and Abaco, followed by a $50 million loan in 2024 aimed at broader aviation sector reforms. As for Grand Bahama, Tourism and Aviation Minister Chester Cooper previously revealed that the Saudi Fund for Development agreed to relocate or reallocate funding originally earmarked for Georgetown and North Eleuthera airports to instead support Grand Bahama International Airport. But Gale says IDB believes it is well positioned to help move the project forward.
We have the resources, we have the know-how, we are a bank with a wide reach, not just in Latin America but across the world, right? We can harness and access additional support and financing from other partners, other players. You know, we go as far as, the Arab Fund, you name it, right? So whatever you're looking for to do this airport, we can bring that to the table.
And the Court of Appeal rejecting a bid for trial for a man serving 20 years for killing his mother. Tanico Wayne Duncombe pleaded guilty to manslaughter in 2023 in the killing of Udell Bevins, whose body was found stuffed in the trunk of a car at Freeport Junkyard in July 2019. Duncombe claimed he did not understand the plea deal he accepted, but a three-judge panel led by Justice of Appeal Milton Evans dismissed the appeal, ruling the agreement was properly explained before he signed it. And the Free National Movement filling a vacant seat in the Senate Monday. Veteran trade unionist Nicole Martin formally receiving her instruments of appointment at Government House, becoming the party's newest senator. Martin's appointment follows the resignation of former Senator Maxine Seymour, who stepped down from the upper chamber last Thursday. The brief ceremony today was attended by Martin's family and friends, along with F&M leaders, officers, and supporters. Speaking with our news afterwards, Senator-designate Martin pushed back against suggestions her appointment is a token move following her unsuccessful bid for the F&M nomination in Nassau Village. Martin also commended Seymour for her service, saying her contributions helped pave the way for the work ahead.
I don't believe that the brevity or longevity of your stay in a place is the barometer. So if this was an appointment for one day, whatever comes before me, whatever is the most topical, most relevant issue is what I'm going to give everything that I have to. And so I'm looking forward to debating what comes before us and to put the case on behalf of my party to the Bahamian people via legislation why we are the right choice.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, happy Monday.
Yeah, thanks, Gideon, and happy Monday evening, everybody. Another beautiful day around the islands. That high-pressure system building across us. Settling now into the upper 60s. 67 is our current temperature outside our studios. We call it partly cloudy. We have some clouds floating out there. Northeast winds at 10 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 65. Temperatures right now around the family of islands. We are in the 60s all across the Northwest Bahamas. 67 in Freeport, 66 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. We pick up 68s, Alistown, Bimini, Great Harbour, Key the Berry Islands. Nicholstown, Andros, and Governor's Harbor, 69 there. Temperatures in the Central Bahamas, 70-degree mark there. 71 in Kemps Bay, as well as in Georgetown, Exuma, Deadman's Key, Long Island. 70 in Black Point, Exuma, 67 in Arthurstown, Cat Island. Coburn Townsend, Salvador, 68. Down into the Southeast Bahamas, 73 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, 71 in Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, Delectable Bay, Auckland, 69, also in Abrahams Bay. Matthew Down in Agua, 72, and our neighbors to the Southeast Turks and Caicos Islands. Your temperature right now is at 73. Satellite radar composite, we are quite across area. We still have some what we call marine clouds, low-level clouds not producing any precipitation, all connected with that high pressure and that cool air mass moving over the warm Atlantic waters. We could see some partly cloudy skies throughout the remainder of the night and into tomorrow, mainly across the central and southeast Bahamas as that high pressure slides out towards the east, and we expect some beautiful conditions for the next several days. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. We'll take a look at your extended forecast when we come back.
Coming up in sports, Great Britain's roster is loaded with Bahamian talent for the World Baseball Classic, and the world is on edge for night 2 of the BAISS basketball playoffs. Not overstating this at all, I had to dress for the occasion.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
It's more than a podcast. It's a movement. This is Breaking the Silence with Junior Clovis, where conversations we avoid finally have a place to breathe. Every story, every struggle, every breakthrough is brought to light, unfiltered and unspoken until now. Join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. as we confront the topics that matter, share real experiences, and change the conversation around mental health together. Watch, listen, break the silence.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. So we knew jazz was the highlight, but as usual, Great Britain didn't just stop there. They mined the Bahamas for baseball talent and is headed to the 2026 World Baseball Classic with high expectations. Bringing back the teacup celebration is important though. I cannot stress this enough. Great Britain's 2026 WBC roster was released over the weekend, and joining Chisholm will be several returning players from the historic 2023 team in Arizona and others making their debut. Infielder BJ Murray, pitcher Chavez Fernandez, and outfielder Trace Thompson returned from the 2023 squad. Of course, VJ grabs all the headlines, and rightfully so, but Bimini has another college hooper on the rise, and he seems destined for a major program when he transitions to D1. Liano Roll, the 6'7" wing, emerged as one of the nation's top junior college recruits and is ranked number 60 on the JUCO Top 100 list. Which teams will lift trophies tonight? Probably this one. Which teams will stave off elimination tonight? Probably this one as well. We'll be fine as long as everyone understands 0.5 seconds, not enough time to catch, turn, step into a shot, and release. But I digress. The BAISS Basketball Championship Series got underway at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium, and Game 1 set the stage for what promises to be a series of exciting finishes across all divisions. The Senior Boys Contest, an absolute thriller. The C.W. Saunders Cougars handed the defending champion St. John's College Giants their first loss of the season, 68-66 on a buzzer-beating 3 from Kenai Davis. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as global superstar Bad Bunny turned the Super Bowl halftime show into a celebration of Puerto Rican culture. Plus, Cubans brace for fuel scarcity contingency measures amid struggles with the United States. And Haiti has a new prime minister as the country's transitional governance structure formally comes to an end. The story when Our News returns.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now. 3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, and Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
Conflict doesn't have to end in chaos. Before it escalates, take a breath. Step back. Choose peace. Listen to understand. Respectful conversations lead to real solutions. I am Sergeant 3599 Johnson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, urging you, let's talk it out, not fight it out.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where news...
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world.
Sea Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Perú, Ecuador, Brasil, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Panamá, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, México, Cuba, República Dominicana, Jamaica, Haití, las Antillas, United States.
Global superstar Bad Bunny turned the Super Bowl halftime show into a celebration of Puerto Rican culture with a high performance and surprise appearances by Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin, according to Reuters. The set featured several hits, marking a major moment for Latin music on the NFL's biggest stage, following last year's record-breaking halftime by Kendrick Lamar. But the performance also drew criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump, who called the show absolutely terrible in a social media post. Bad Bunny has previously spoken out against U.S. immigration policies. It's a stance that has drawn pushback from conservatives. Japan's new Prime Minister, Sana Takachi, says national security is her top priority after her Liberal Democratic Party scored a landslide election victory Monday. The ruling coalition won 352 of 465 seats in Japan's lower house, strengthening Takachi's hand to push a more hawkish defense agenda, including expanding military capabilities and revising Japan's pacifist constitution. Takachi says Japan remains open to dialogue with China, but has previously warned Japan could respond militarily if a Chinese attack on Taiwan also threatened Japanese territory.
As someone who firmly believes in the underlying strength of Japan and the Japanese people, I will step forward together with all our citizens toward new challenges. The Constitution expresses the ideal form of our nation. With a clear vision of Japan's future, we will also advance the challenge toward amending the Constitution. The future is not something that is simply given to us. It is something we build through our continued efforts and challenges, each and every one of us.
Cuba's fuel crisis is worsening, disrupting transportation, triggering power outages, and forcing changes at schools. In Havana, commuters struggled Friday as buses were pulled from service. The Granma National Bus Base has suspended interprovincial service in several regions. At the University of Havana, classes there have shifted to a hybrid model because of fuel shortages and power deficits. The shortage follows stepped up United States efforts to block oil shipments to Cuba, which the government says are deepening the crisis. And Haiti has a new prime minister as the country's transitional governance structure formally comes to an end. Alex Filzami took office Saturday, following a handover from the 9-member Transitional Presidential Council, whose mandate expired without curbing deadly gang violence or delivering long-delayed elections. The ceremony was held under tight security in Port-au-Prince, with outgoing Council President Saint-Cyr among those in attendance. The council was installed in April 2024 after the resignation of then Prime Minister Ariel Henry, but its tenure has been marred by worsening insecurity, corruption allegations, and political infighting. In late January, several council members moved to oust Filzami, prompting the United States to warn of serious consequences, impose sanctions on 5 council members, and call for the body to step aside.
The government that I have the honor to lead is getting to work. The prerogatives recognized for the executive will be scrupulously exercised with respect for the institutions and in the best interest of the nation. Let's put Haiti first. Long live Haiti. Because the great challenges we face require solidarity, serenity, and a greater capacity to put aside our personal interests to move forward. Today, in that same spirit of truth and common sense, I am speaking to you once again. I am talking about the security problem. We don't solve everything, but we start the battle.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was February 9th. Then in our news at 7:30.
While the country remembers the late Ramona Farquharson Seymour as an esteemed attorney, her pastor simply remembers her as a faithful church servant. Stay tuned to Our News Tonight for more details.
But first, it's back to the bargaining table for teachers' union and government over proposed salary increases in a new industrial agreement. The story when Our News returns.
Think you know domestic violence? Think again. It is not just physical, emotional, financial, or sexual abuse, and it doesn't discriminate. If you feel intimidated, harassed, or manipulated, you're not alone. The Bahamas Crisis Center and the Domestic Violence Task Force are here. I am Sergeant 3992 Tamika Neely. Let's break the silence on domestic violence. Let's create safer communities.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 and
On this day in Bahamian history in 1967, Alvin Rudolph Brainin was sworn in as Speaker of the House after a historic 1818 election tie between the UBP and PLP. Brainin, elected as an independent, backed the PLP to form the government and served as Speaker until 1972. And in 2021, 3 Cuban nationals were rescued from Anguilla Key by the U.S. Coast Guard after surviving 33 days on the island, living mainly on coconuts. If you want to learn more about the events that shaped the day that was February 9th, head over to rnews.bs. Well, the law firm R.A. Farquharson & Co. closed until further notice following the sudden death of its principal, veteran defense attorney Ramona Farquharson Seymour. Farquharson Seymour, a general practice attorney for more than 20 years, widely regarded as a sharp and savvy figure in the local legal community. In a notice to clients obtained by R News, the firm says clients will be contacted on an individual basis. Prime Minister Philip Davis and Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard both releasing statements, Davis describing Farquharson Seymour as hardworking and sharp, Pintard calling her a fearless advocate. All right, this next story is about hope. The hope that we can turn the tide for our young men, who are often the subject of nightly stories on crime and violence. And just recently, the message to choose better, not only their community, but for themselves, was delivered to a group of high school-aged boys by probably one of the most famous men in the Bahamas today. Joshua Williams reports.
Queen's College taking time out to pour into the young men of their school. Prime Minister Philip Davis was the keynote speaker during a seminar for all of its high school male students. Hundreds of young men gathering in the school's auditorium as the nation's leader shared with them the importance of their unique life stories. He told students that despite their individual circumstances, everyone has a story that's still being written.
The pages that have already been turned may include some triumphs, may include mistakes, doubts, or disappointments. But let me just say, the pen is still in your hand.
Davis admonishing the young men to know who they are, choose who they will become, and to also encourage others walking the same journey.
Every day, the world sends you messages about what it means to be a man. Some say it is about how tough you look, how many people you can impress, how much money you can flash. Others say it is about never showing emotion, never asking for help, never admitting you are wrong. Those ideas lead many young men into trouble. Being a man is quite different.
And as the young men continue on their journey, Davis says it's important for them to look in the mirror and ask themselves these 3 questions.
What do I believe in? What do I stand for when no one is watching? Who am I when there are no likes, no reposts, no audience? If you base your worth on what social media says about you, you'll always feel empty. Your value comes from something deeper.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks so much for that, Josh. And if you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit rnews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7, but up now is Jerome Sawyer. He has got the latest headlines. Happy Monday, Jerome.
Thank you very much, Kenina. Before we go, a great story there with the Prime Minister. You know, those boys at QC are never going to forget that day that the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas visited with them and imparted those words. So
and a great message. Message.
Very much so. There's some things he said, I think, that even resonated with me still. Well, thank you so much there. Well, a powerful earthquake hundreds of miles away, but felt right here at home tonight. Southern Bahamians describe the shaking, the fear, and the moments that left many on edge. Here are your latest headlines. Ahead tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, back to the bargaining table for the teachers' union and the government over salary increases. Tonight, the minister responsible goes on record saying the union's initial rejection was expected in many ways. The National Security Minister responds to questions about the names of Bahamians appearing in the Epstein files. He's putting his predecessor in office on the hook, saying he knew of concerns and raised no objections. Plus, the community still reeling from the sudden death of a well-known attorney.
While the country remembers the late Ramona Farquharson Seymour as an esteemed attorney, her pastor simply remembers her as a faithful church servant. Stay tuned to Our News Tonight for more details.
And later, tremors felt all the way in Inagua from an earthquake in Cuba. First-hand accounts from residents caught in the rolling quake. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now. Three advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, and Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth?
Somewhere's Plaza, got it going on, yeah. Somewhere's Plaza, one-stop shopping is here. The family, community, who needs Southwest Plaza, come shop with us. Shop, shop, we've got so many stores. Shop, shop, prices are right. Come spend the day, bring the family. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us.
Hello. What do I have in my biggie bag? Fries, nuggets, a chicken sandwich, an apple pie, a free apple pie. It also comes with a drink. You know what? A biggie bag a day keeps the hunger away.
For a limited time only, get a free apple pie with the purchase of the Biggie Bag.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is a great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect.
Welcome to our news at 7:30. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jerome Sawyer in for Italia Hall tonight. Starting off this half hour, it's back to the bargaining table for the teachers union and government over proposed salary increases in a new industrial agreement. An outright rejection of the first proposal by the teachers union over the weekend has now sent both sides back to the drawing board as nearly 2,000 teachers await another round of pay increases. The old agreement expired in June. Government presented the first union offer on January 30th, and within a matter of days, the union says their members voted overwhelmingly to reject it. By weekend, BUT President Belinda Wilson made the rejection public. A day after, Labour Minister Pierre Roll responded in a statement calling the union's response normal.
That's how negotiations work. First offers are rarely accepted.
And the process to negotiations could soon come. As we understand, the union has sent a counter-proposal. Minister Roll, in her response, though, made it clear they did not intend to negotiate with Wilson and her union in the public domain and not in the headlines, as she put it. But what was discussed was this government's track record with teachers since 2022, 2 annual increments, 5 increases, and a first-time retention bonus as Roll, plus 2 more increments in December given to all public servants.
We didn't wait for negotiations. We moved on our own outside of any contractual obligations because we believe that we have to pay our public servants what they're worth.
And in response to our question of what was offered, the minister shared this.
The initial final offer we made to the BUT is for 5 years. It includes 5 normal increments, 4 additional increments, a $1,500 lump sum payment, and another retention bonus. So added together, if we look at the time frame 2021 to 2031, teachers will have received 19 increments. They will also have received 2 retention bonuses plus a lump sum payment during that period. And that's what we've put on the table.
It's now 8 months since the old agreement expired, and with the union's counteroffer now in hand, the next few weeks of negotiations will determine if there is any possibility of an agreement in the foreseeable future. National Security Minister Wayne Munro is pushing back tonight after the name of ambassador, businessman and PLP Fort Charlotte candidate Sebas Bastian appeared recently in the Epstein files. Munro says his predecessor, former National Security Minister Marvin Dames, whose name also appears in the documents, had the opportunity to raise any concerns while he was in office if he believed there was wrongdoing. Now, according to a Federal Bureau of Investigation report, Dames, referred to as Marvin James in the files, brought an informant to the United States Embassy in Nassau where allegations against two web shop bosses were made and recorded. Munro spoke with our News Monday on the sidelines of the Governor General's visit to the Department of Corrections.
Certainly he must have had comfort to not advance any objection to the appointment of Sebas Bastian as an ambassador. If he felt there was anything that disqualified him, he had a duty as the Minister of National Security to come forward with it. Clearly he didn't, because Mr. Bastian was appointed ambassador under his administration. So I like to think the best of people. I would like to think that Minister Marvin Dames carried out his duty as Minister of National Security.
Now, Bastian and another businessman named have denied the accusations. Munro says if Dames had carried out his duty as he believes he would have, there is no substance in the complaint against the businessman.
I could always be wrong, and Minister Dames might have been a horrible Minister of National Security who didn't do his job. But I think on something as simple as that, he would have done his job. And that would mean that the U.S. Embassy and all of the agencies, FBI, HSI, all of them, would have found no substance in whatever was reported to them. Minister Dames must have found that there was no substance. And so that is all that I would say to that. Of course, the Department of Justice, they say being mentioned in the files doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong.
Well, at that same event, the National Security Minister, Wayne Munro, says he hopes the new prison can be funded by the United States. This after U.S. Ambassador to the Bahamas, Herschel Walker, in a recent statement, encouraged the Davis administration to drop the China deal on funding for the new hospital. Now, Walker arguing last week that the terms of the $195 million Chinese financing for New Providence's second hospital are, quote, not in the best interest of the nation, and pledged that the Trump administration would help secure a better deal. Speaking on the sidelines of that Governor General's visit to the Bahamas Department of Corrections today, Munro confirmed government has approached the United States for funding for that new virtual court complex and corrections facility.
To use his words, for helping us get the best deal for the funding for the prison and the virtual court, which is being largely built by an American firm. And so I'm encouraged by what he says, so I will expect that we will get a good response from American Exim Bank if we approach them for funding for the prison, because that is something else that we would be looking for funding for. And I take him at his word that the U.S. is prepared to assist us with that.
Well, the election season is off to a roaring start now that just about all of the main parties and party candidates, that is, are ratified. The governing Progressive Liberal Party is having a public ratification event at the party's Farrington Road headquarters at this hour. On Sunday, February 1st, they ratified 11 candidates in a closed meeting, cancelling the outdoor event due to weather. They now have a full slate of 41 candidates named. And not too far away in Chippingham, third-party force, the Coalition of Independents, is ratifying 4 candidates tonight as well at their headquarters. That event is scheduled to start at 8. And later this week, both the PLP and the FNM are in Grand Bahama for party events. Be sure to follow our news on all of your favorite social media pages for updates and nightly here on our news. More tonight on the life of attorney Ramona Farquharson Seymour,
the death of
following
well-known
her sudden passing on Sunday. Many are remembering her as a fierce, dedicated attorney committed to her craft, but to her church family. She was a faithful member who lent her time, efforts, and her own family to service. Our Joshua Williams spoke to her pastor in this exclusive.
The death of well-known defense attorney Ramona Farquharson Seymour yesterday came as a shock to many. A general practice attorney for over 20 years, she established herself in the local legal profession as one of the more savvy attorneys in the field. But for her pastor, Reverend Huda Roll, she'll be remembered best as a faithful member. He says he got the unfortunate call after service on Sunday.
Ramona's husband, Calvin, had called our church administrator and advised that he was on his way to the hospital with her, that she was unresponsive. Never in my wildest dreams that when I went up there, I would have gotten news of her passing. It was a real shocker.
He says he saw her days before she passed.
Ramona and her husband, Calvin, were here just on Thursday and to do some stuff. And I was in my office, and I went out and hailed her. We spoke, and certainly didn't seem as if anything was untoward health-wise with her.
Farquharson Seymour was called to the bar in 2001 and established herself, taking on many high-profile cases and clients, including Long Island Member of Parliament Adrian Gibson and former Prison Commissioner Charles Murphy. Prime Minister Philip Davis releasing a statement describing her as a hard worker who was sharp in her ability. Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard also reacting to her death. He described her as a fearless advocate. But for Roll, her service to her church was even greater.
Some of our at-risk boys and girls for our Christmas giveaway, Ramona has always supported that for many, many years.
Roll says it's now the mission of the entire church family to support the husband and 2 young girls she leaves behind.
In helping to raise and do whatever we can for these 2 beautiful girls that would have been left without a mother. I believe that added to the grief.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center tonight. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Jerome, and a happy Monday evening, everybody. If you have plans for the outdoors, get out and enjoy. It's beautiful on the outside. 67 degrees is our current temperature with partly cloudy skies. Just a few clouds floating out there. Northeast winds at 10 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 65. Satellite radar composite, that high-pressure system across our area is sliding slowly towards the east, but it's picking up some marine moisture, and that's bringing a couple of clouds across the area, some patchy clouds across the central and southeast Bahamas, more sunshine across the northwest portions of the island chain. We will continue this trend over the next couple of days. We are looking for that high pressure to continue sliding east, giving us some very nice conditions through the remainder of the week. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. We'll take a look at your extended forecast when we come back.
Still to come on our news tonight, eyewitness accounts from Managua residents caught in tremors from an earthquake all the way in Cuba. And a moment of national pride, the Bahamian flag, featured in a halftime show featuring Latino Grammy-winning artist Bad Bunny. That's coming up when our news returns.
When I wake up in the morning and I take a walk outside, I see the sunshine, I see a new day, and that feeling puts a smile right on my face. I know just what to do, go to the paint place. So if you wanna clean it right the first time, go to the paint place, stop at the paint place. And if you want it to last a lifetime, go to the paint place, stop at the paint place.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is the great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. You're going to marvel.
It only takes a second for things to go wrong. Are you prepared? Don't become a statistic. Follow these simple rules. Leave early, obey road signs, wear seatbelts, invest in hands-free devices, and don't drink and drive. I'm Inspector Gerard Cum of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, reminding you that road safety is no accident.
Now, authorities say a would-be car buyer was the victim of a robbery by armed thieves Sunday. It happened around 6 p.m. on Tarnique-Williams-Darling Highway. That's where the victim was picked up from his home by two men who were supposedly selling a car for $5,000. That ride took a dark turn, the victim telling police one of the men pulled out a gun, stealing the man's cell phone and the $5,000 he bought to buy the car. Now, police need your help in finding the suspects. If you have any information on the case, contact police at 911 or 919. Residents in the southern Bahamas are still talking about the unsettling moments they felt after tremors from a nearby earthquake rippled across the region Sunday. The tremors were felt after a 5.8 magnitude earthquake struck eastern Cuba. From Inagua, residents like Richard Ingram and his wife say they were completely caught off guard while in their home.
One moment, we were sitting down in the kitchen, me and my wife, and I saw the door knocked, like somebody was to the door. Unfortunately, there was nobody to the door. And all of a sudden, we felt like the ground began to shake, like the house was actually on water, was just moving. And we was like, I said, this is an earthquake. You know what I mean? And we were like, yeah, she felt it too. And, it was just a couple of seconds, exactly 7 o'clock that happened. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was a great experience. It was a really experience.
It's been a terrifying experience for them. Well, according to the Bahamas Department of Meteorology, the earthquake happened around 7 and was centered roughly 49 kilometers southeast of Cuba's Guantanamo province at a relatively shallow depth of 15 kilometers. The department assessed the event and confirmed there was no tsunami risk to the Bahamas. Now, Inagua Island Administration Kina Gibson said she was out of the district at the time, but got several reports from residents who experienced the tremors.
I would have been advised by the superintendent of police, Mr. Kemp, that they would have felt some tremors on the island. There were no reports of damages. However, residents would have expressed that they would have felt their homes shake. Some people had, some of the contents would have fallen down on the floor, but there was no damages, no report of lost lives, and no major damages as a result of the tremors.
And just in case you missed it, here's a recap of the moment. There's the Bahamian flag appearing in a flag of nations at last night's Super Bowl halftime show during the highly anticipated performance by Grammy-winning Latino artist Bad Bunny. The moment captured and shared by proud Bahamians at home and abroad, celebrating the sight of the black, gold, and aquamarine on America's biggest sports stage. The global showcase was a tribute to culture, identity, and heritage, and was featured among dozens of flags from around the world and across the region, with the Bahamas clearly represented.
Coming up in sports, last time out at the World Baseball Classic, Bahamians brought the energy, camaraderie, and the teacup celebration. We'll see what they have in store for 2026. Then, Liana Roll appears on a path to a Power 5, and in BAISS Basketball Championships, comebacks and controversy on night 1.
Do you think you know domestic violence? Think again. It is not just physical, emotional, financial, or sexual abuse, and it doesn't discriminate. If you feel intimidated, harassed, or manipulated, you're not alone. The Bahamas Crisis Center and the Domestic Violence Task Force are here. I am Sergeant 3992 Tamika Neely. Let's break the silence on domestic violence. Let's create safer communities.
mean, what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. So we knew jazz was the highlight, but as usual, Great Britain didn't just stop there. They mined the Bahamas for baseball talent and is headed to the 2026 World Baseball Classic with high expectations. Bringing back the teacup celebration is important though. I cannot stress this enough. Great Britain's 2026 WBC roster was released over the weekend, and joining Chisholm will be several returning players from the historic 2023 team in Arizona and others making their debut. Infielder BJ Murray, pitcher Chavez Fernandez, and outfielder Trace Thompson returned from the 2023 squad. Murray, the Chicago Cubs prospect, has risen as high as AAA and had a standout season last year with 20 homers and 20 stolen bases in AA. Fernandez spent his year in Puerto Rican and Mexican leagues, while Thompson, who spent last season in the Boston Red Sox system, hit the first home run and scored the first run for Great Britain at the last WBC. Among the newcomers to the squad, Miami Marlins prospect Ian Lewis, who spent last season in Single A, Arizona Diamondbacks prospect Christian Robinson, who ended the year in AAA, former big leaguer Lucius Fox, who broke through with the Washington Nationals, and right-handed reliever Antonio Knowles, currently a Los Angeles Dodgers AAA prospect. Great Britain hopes to advance out of Pool B and into the quarterfinals of the WBC. Hosted in Houston, Texas, they open play March 6th against Mexico, followed by the United States on March 7, Italy on March 8th, and will wrap up round-robin play against Brazil on March 9th. Of course, VJ grabs all the headlines, and rightfully so, but Bimini has another college hooper on the rise, and he seems destined for a major program when he transitions to D1. Liano Roll, the 6'7" wing, emerged as one of the nation's top junior college recruits and is ranked number 60 on the JUCO Top 100 list. Roll is currently averaging 14.6 points, 6.7 boards, and 2 steals per game at Southwest Mississippi Community College. He saw his numbers increase from a freshman season at Arizona Western College, where he averaged 6.4 points per game. Roll's play this season and his JUCO ranking have drawn attention from several NCAA D1 programs, and so far, an official offer from the Florida State Seminoles in the ACC. Which teams will lift trophies tonight? Probably this one. Which teams will stave off elimination tonight? Probably this one as well. We'll be fine as long as everyone understands 0.5 seconds, not enough time to catch, turn, step into a shot, and release. But I digress. The BISS Basketball Championship Series got underway at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium, and Game 1 set the stage for what promises to be a series of exciting finishes across all divisions. The senior boys contest, an absolute thriller. The C.W. Saunders Cougars handed the defending champion St. John's College Giants their first loss of the season, 68-66 on a buzzer-beating 3 from Kenai Davis. Over in the senior girls final, it was the Giants who made the big statement, using a 12-0 fourth quarter run to take down the defending champion Kingsway Saints 35-28. Junior divisions were dominated by the Comets. The Comets junior girls came from behind to beat the Cougars 27-25, highlighted by a fourth quarter comeback led by newcomers Tajanique Morley and Jada Francis. Over in the junior boys, the Comets dominated in the most lopsided game of the night, rolling to a 49-23 win over the St. Anne's Blue Waves. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. Very important note, in 2027, Super Bowl 61 falls on February 14th, Valentine's Day. God be with all as we look ahead to this very trying time. Only the strong and the risk-averse will survive.
And still ahead tonight, how much longer can we expect these cooler temperatures? Greg is back with your extended weather forecast.
Get a free apple pie with the purchase of the Biggie Bag.
Every year, car theft in the Bahamas rises. Thieves are getting smarter and faster. Is your car a target? Compact vehicles are at risk. Don't become a victim. Simple steps can make all the difference. Lock your car. Invest in anti-theft devices. Park smart. Protect yourself. Stay alert. I am PC 4392, Trayshawn Ferguson. Stay vigilant. Report suspicious activity. and let's create safer communities together. Learn more by visiting theroyalbarbados.org.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent services, so I was very grateful that the Live Fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a Live Fiber.
The dangers are escalating. Vaping liquid marijuana is on the rise, damaging lungs and increasing stroke risk. And a deadly new trend, lean, cough syrup, soda, and candy, a lethal combination that can cause seizures and even death. Possession means arrest and prosecution.
This is our news. Welcome back. High pressure in charge of our weather that's producing some very nice conditions on the outside. Some patchy clouds moving across our area, courtesy of that cold air mass moving over the warm Atlantic waters. We will continue to see some patchy clouds across the central and southeast Bahamas. Not going to be producing much in terms of any rainfall, but that high will slowly slide out towards the east. That will keep us with some very pleasant conditions through the remainder of the week. Wider look showing the high pressure system really keeping the southeast United States really cloud free. Some high level moisture will be moving across our area by the middle of the week, but we do expect, as I mentioned, not much in terms of any rainfall. Future forecast showing that pretty nicely. Quiet conditions through Tuesday, nothing happening out there. High level moisture moving across occasionally, and by Wednesday afternoon, more moisture moving into the northwest Bahamas, but not producing any rainfall. Boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. We have an advisory still in place for the Atlantic. Very rough seas out there, dangerous rip currents, so we're asking you to stay out of the Atlantic. East winds at 10 to 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet near shore, but they will be building 5 to 8 feet offshore in some northeasterly swells. Low tide is at 7:20 tonight. Your high tide takes place at 1:55 mid-morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, advisory down that way as well. Dangerous rip currents still in place. Northeast to east winds, 15 to 20 knots. They will be gusting high at times. 4 to 6 foot seas near shore, building 7 to 10 feet offshore in those northeasterly swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, just beautiful weather expected for the remainder of the week. Temperatures will stay in the mid to upper 70s. There's a weak front expected on Saturday, and of course, that's the day for lovers. That's Valentine's Day. But it's not going to spoil your plans, so get out and enjoy the remainder of the week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thank you much, Greg. Some wonderful weather for a wonderful week, heading into a wonderful day on Saturday. You didn't know already? Stick around. You may find out something interesting. Well, that's going to do it for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Jerome Sawyer. Thanks so much for looking in. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Until then, have yourself a wonderful evening.